You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello everyone and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host Stephen White. With me as always is my co-host Lacey Finley.
Well, happy Monday.
I feel like there was something I was going to bring up about today. Was there something special about today? What is today? There's nothing special about today.
Not that I could think of.
Huh.
September 20th, Monday.
There's nothing weird. I don't know what was going through my head. It doesn't matter.
A weird dream state snuck in there. It's like, was this real? Is it deja vu? Did I have something?
Who knows? I really don't know. I mean, I've got other things to talk about, but it was like this nagging feeling. It was like, hey, don't forget to bring this up. And I don't.
And then you did.
And I did. I forgot. I don't remember what it was. Doesn't
you gotta
matter.
be like me, just write it down or set an alarm on your phone.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered to make my brain do anything on its own anymore.
Well,
It doesn't work.
In any case, let's get to the things I did want to bring up. First things first, just a little promo to fellow show that we've talked about in the past. Podcaster Symbol is coming back.
Yes.
You know,
I saw that.
They're coming back, I think, October 1st.
Oh, no.
I think.
That sounds about right for the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I had debated on submitting entries. But I did. That's why.
Look at you.
That's why I'm bringing it up, because whenever they come back around, I probably they're doing the first two movies, the remake, Afterlife whenever it comes out, and then they're doing two bonus episodes, one about the video game, which obviously we should talk about, and I recently played.
Oh, good for you.
And
I would have to visit back. It's basically a carbon copy of the movie, but still.
But it was one of those things that, like, I didn't do it for the show. It was on sale, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to play this again. You know, why not?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So I threw in my 2 cents on that, and then they're talking about the animated series, which I really don't have a lot of connection.
No.
Like, I remember watching it as a kid, but not like religiously. Like, there were some Saturday morning cartoons was like, I'm watching this today.
It is that time. Yes.
And
well, you had to.
yeah.
So you didn't just get to DVR it.
Did you?
Whatever.
Okay, so I'm about to go off on a little bit, because we do often go off on little tangents here.
That's our specialty.
Right. Did you ever have a conflict of interest on Saturday morning cartoons? Like, here's one show that you always watch, but then there was this other show you really wanted to watch, and they were coming on at the same time on two different networks. You were like, what do I do?
I can remember it with other things. I feel like Saturday morning cartoons, it was pretty easy to sit me down in front of like Looney Tunes and I was happy as could be. Mm-hmm. You know, like 7 or 8 in the morning, just sat me down there so they could still sleep or do whatever. And pretty pictures moving in front of my face.
Like, I remember, not often, but there would be certain times during a few years, because, you know, some Saturday morning cartoons would come back, others would just kind of shuffle out and be like, oh, you know, where's that one that I really liked? But there were times where some shows would run an hour. You know, like, I think the Smurfs ran an hour, which I really didn't watch a lot of. Garfield and Friends ran about an hour, which I did watch. Yeah. Looney Tunes also did like an hour block. And it was like right there when the ones would do an hour, that there would always be something on another network. It's like, man, I kind of want to watch that, but I'm watching this. And,
yeah, the decision had to be made. Yeah.
So luckily, since they were running an hour, it was like, all right, well, I already spent 30 minutes here. I can move on, I guess, to this other thing, even though I'm kind of enjoying what I'm watching now. But
all the media.
These hard decisions we as kids had to make. You know, what Saturday morning cartoons are we gonna watch?
I know.
And what
You only had the one chance.
and what about those shows that they would air first thing at like 6 a.m. in the morning? It's like, damn it, I really want to watch that. Like, I'm almost positive, I could be wrong about this, but I'm almost positive they did that with a Super Mario animated series. One of them, not. I can't remember which. I feel like it was...
That might have been earlier than even Child Lacio wanted to get up for anything. So I may not know this. I was pretty good at sleeping.
Like, I remember when they did Captain N and then Super Mario Brothers 3. That came on around 8-ish. So I was awake for that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I feel like there was a Super Mario World cartoon that they aired early in the morning, and I never saw it because I was like, I'm not waking up at 6 a.m.
Right. Like, you only get a few days a week
Mm-hmm.
as a child that you get to sleep in. Really, you got to go to school. I just assume where you live probably had to go to church on Sunday. So, like, Saturday's your one day.
Yeah.
I don't know if your family made you. That's
Well,
just a horrible stereotype of being
No.
in the South. I just assume you all go to church on Sundays.
From age 10 to 16, there was that. And 16 was pushing it. Like, I had to get a job, but there was also a girl that I was
the
sweet
conflict,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. That's still a regret of mine.
Aw.
She
Going to church or
No. I mean, I may have told this story here once before, but every time I think about it, like, again, nothing may have come of it. We could have been so incompatible, it's ridiculous. But she was gorgeous, and she had the brightest blue eyes I'd ever seen on a woman. And that was like one of those things that just drew me in. It was like hypnotic.
Right.
Furthermore, she was older than I was, like not by a lot, but I knew she was at least, here I am, sophomore, junior I was about to say college, in high school.
In high school.
And she was at least a few years
Well,
ahead,
that's
if
like
not college.
That's like 20 years and teenage years, right?
Sure.
Apart for like men and women, right? Mm-hmm.
But she
Nailed
was
it.
always there, and that was one of the main driving forces of going. It's like I wanted to see her, I wanted to hang out with her, and I actually actively would talk to her, unlike some other things that I wouldn't do, or at least not today. But I was just trying to get her to notice me, and I really think she did. There were signs, like when I look back on it, I was like, holy crap, she was into me, and why didn't I just ask her out? And she probably was asking the same thing. Why isn't he asking me out? I'm clearly sending signals, and in my primitive monkey brain, I'm sitting there thinking, she doesn't want me. She's too beautiful, and she's...
As we do as teenagers. Yeah.
There's no... I didn't want the rejection, That's what I was afraid of, asking her out and her be like, nah.
Right.
And maybe I was misreading that. Maybe she wasn't into me, but I feel like when I look back on certain elements, it was there. I can see it. It's like, why would she have done that if she wasn't into me? Like, she was trying to say, hey.
What's up?
What's up?
Hi.
Yeah.
What you doing after this?
Yeah. But, again, I'm an idiot.
Nah. Just, aren't we supposed to say it was just fated to be... how everything ended up now or something. I don't know.
I suppose.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Like
The fate.
There were times I had thought about looking her up, when I was single. Mm-hmm. But you'd think people were easier to find on social media.
These days, right? Well, if she changed her name or, I don't know. I've lost some people that way where I was like, dang, it just seemed like they blipped off the face of the earth.
Right?
Yeah.
But
I just hope they're okay, I guess, is all I could do, because I'm not going to sleuth any harder than that.
But see, the other part of it in the back of my head that I'm kind of grateful for, I guess, maybe slightly. Again, I don't know anything about her now, what she's like, what her life is like. But back of my head, I kind of feel like there would be this Jesus freak thing. Not to say she was like hyper religious or anything like that, but something tells me
there might be a conflict of interest between you two that might cause some trouble.
Oh yeah, there would be a conflict now for sure.
Yeah,
where I would be Had we dated, would I be?
Well, who knows where she is, too? Could be in the same place.
Who knows?
We could what about this forever?
Yeah.
What if?
What
I mean,
ifs? By the way, what about that show?
right?
There's so many great questions. What if?
There really is.
But hey, we got off on a tangent. Ghostbusters. Podcasters
Yes. Oh,
Assemble.
yes. That is what we were talking about, isn't it? Yes. Ghostbusters.
If you are a podcaster, and I know for a fact that Twitter, we got a lot of Twitter followers this week, mainly because we've got some wonderful people. Let me go ahead and shout out. We already talked about Zach Deuce because he is or Zach Derby.
Just lovely.
Zach Deuce is his Twitter handle, if you don't know, because he talked about it here. But he's such a great promoter of not just our pod, but so many other pods, and we love him for it. We appreciate it. But also the Neatcast, those guys over there, they've been putting us in their little follow Fridays, trying to get other people, and we've been getting people to follow.
Very sweet.
Again, I'm trying to actively do that the same way, following. And also, if you happen to see me, have you heard of these things called what do they do on Twitter now? With these little rooms where you can speak and listen to.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but people.
Well, I remembered hearing about like some short form video thing, but it seemed to leave by the time I discovered it was a thing. So it was successful, clearly.
Well, no, this is more like people can gather together in these little rooms.
So like a chat room.
Yeah, but they seem like they have
a group.
They seem like they have a purpose. Like people are getting together to talk about. I mean, it could be like counseling, but not the ones I have bounced into have not been that. They've been talking about their journeys as podcasters and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't remember what they're called, but it's a thing on Twitter.
So clearly, I have no idea what you're talking about on Twitter.
Okay,
so I need to like I don't know, get myself up to the 19th century, maybe even a little. But let's see.
If I see one come around again, I'll poke you and be like,
because
hey.
I have no idea what you're talking about on Twitter.
But it's like a little room you can request to speak, if you've got something to say, or you can just listen, like an audience member. Zach was doing one, I think Friday, and I wanted I can't remember the actual group he was talking with. Some of the few ones that I've kind of popped into, I'm just listening, like I'm not looking to speak at the moment, and mainly because I'm at work. And that's what I wanted to point out. When I was in that room, there was a very small crowd. He called me out. He's like, Super Mega Crash is here. He's like, I'm not sure if that's Lace or Steven, but he's like, yeah, get them to talk. And I'm like, shit, I can't. I'm at work.
I'm at work.
And there's no way to.
Probably was too.
And there's no way to text in the room to be like, can't speak work.
Oh, it has to be voice chat.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting there going, damn. And I don't want to just bounce out, but I had to because I was like, they're going to think I'm so rude. So
another good reason to not call out lurkers.
Yeah. So if you're, you just that was good. So if you were part of that group, don't think us rude.
Yes.
Certain parts of the day we're actually.
I'm just learning of this thing now. So.
Yeah. So 9 times out of 10, Super Mega Crash on Twitter is me.
Yes.
But I wasn't being rude. I was not capable of speaking. If I could, I would, but I was not. So I apologize if you're one of those people. But
it made it look like you were just scared and jetted out.
Something. No, I could not speak. Just was unable to. But if any of the Twitter followers, the new Twitter followers, are listening today, welcome, and we hope you enjoy. And again, thank you to the Neatcast, whoever over there. Maybe it's a rotating group of people running their Twitter. We appreciate your little Follow Fridays as well. So,
yes, it's very sweet. Good group over there, I tell you. Good group.
A lot of great people.
Good people.
And I wish I could be as great with the whole hey, let's promote other people. And it's not that I don't want to. I just social media, man. It's one of those things.
Well, clearly, I don't know about it either anymore. I keep telling myself, I'm like, I should be better with it, and I was at one point, and then. I don't know, man. Sometimes life is just so much happier when I'm not flipping through it.
Yeah.
So, like, even on the weekends, I may not even go on. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, even I was trying to engage with people more because I was told, hey, if you want to help grow your podcast, do that. And I was trying. But, you know, the news and everything is just, it gets overwhelming.
There's a lot.
And
yeah.
trying to pick and choose and just trying to stay on top of it. And I got other things going, man. Like, if we want this Twitter thing to go, I need like a social media manager. I can't do that along with everything else I'm doing.
I mean, that's a fair point. And then I always offered, I was like, oh, I'll do more tweeting stuff and then I'll do good for like a week or two and then I fall off because I don't know. I guess I'm just not as interested in it.
Yeah.
And I guess I need to make myself be interested in it.
We need someone who loves social media to do it.
Right.
You know,
and like understands it and knows when there's chat rooms.
Yeah.
You know, unlike me, who thought it was just 240 characters.
So here's a question that wasn't initially on my list of questions and things to talk about, but I did want to pose this, and maybe listeners can tell us whether or not they would be interested, because I've been debating this around as a possibility. Would anybody, siblings, would you want a Discord? Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. I mean, I'm throwing it out there. If there's interest, I'll look at opening the door because, truth be told, I've had a Discord for some time, like an actual room. A space, a Discord space. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm using this for. Like, I've got it. It's here.
Yeah.
It exists. But I don't know what to do with it. And I've debated on things like, hell, I can make emojis out of our little avatar faces and stuff like that, which would be cool.
Yeah, you can.
But if no one's going to be there, then...
Yeah. After we just get done talking about how I won't even go on Twitter.
Yeah.
But like, hey, you want to start a new Discord? I don't know.
It just...
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, because I'm curious. Because we might be able to meet some awesome siblings out there we don't even know we have.
Right? True.
So,
and then give them that direct line on things they don't like. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll discuss it. If we get enough interest, maybe I'll post a link on our website, because we got a website. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's been working for maybe a week or two now, or like I've officially posted it and I haven't really promoted it a lot because I've been trying to work on certain things, but pencilpaperproductions.com, link below. Anything you want to find of whether it be this podcast, the animated series, Cinema Salsa, Man Cave, it's all there. That's my whole goal is to have this website contain everything, because I'm even thinking about removing certain things that I have on Facebook off of Facebook. I'm actually working actively right now to move all of my artwork onto the website. And I have a Facebook page for that. I've taken all that there. I'm looking for old notebooks, like one of my oldest I can't find, which I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Which bothers me, because I've been looking at the art on that where I had scanned it, and the scans were really faded and hard to see. So I thought about doing actual pictures to where they would be in color and probably higher definition.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that as kind of like a last ditch thing, and I'm trying to figure out how to organize that, because I realize there's a lot.
Yeah.
I was just going to stick it all on one page, and then I was like, nah, this isn't going to work. This is going to be way too much.
Not very scroll friendly, right? Just keep going.
And even trying to find the right balance of size felt difficult, because the layout options that I have, some just look too small. And I don't want them, like, if you can't click on it to enlarge it, then you're just sitting there going like this.
Right.
And I'm squinting, by the way. I know you people can all see that.
I saw it clearly.
And it just, like, I want it to seem, like, I want you to be able to see it. I don't want you to have to sit there and be like, well, that looks like a thumbnail. I want you to be able to see it. So if it's, like, gigantic on your screen, well, then there you go. You're getting to see it. But it's just trying to find this balance of how to organize it. Like, one of the other things that I did, and here's another fun fact for all you people. This is yet another skill set that I'm learning on my own. I'm not a web designer, but I'm doing my damnedest to build this without having to go to someone.
Yeah.
And not to say that I don't know anybody, but I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to bother them or, you know.
And sometimes you just want to learn a thing on your own, so
Yeah.
you don't have to depend on anybody if you need a change or an adjustment or something
And
made.
that has been my goal throughout this entire thing. And it's exhausting. Anyway.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
But organizing every series that's had more than just 2 episodes was easy. Our podcasts, we've got them split up into, 4 sections now. And like I said before, podcasts that have been like bonus episodes on this space are now, they have been removed, but they will be on these other platforms. So if you wanted to revisit them or look back on them, they will be there in due time. But it was like the extra stuff, and I think that's where I'm having a little bit of fun, because I was even looking through some of these things that I never posted, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with them at one point. Like when I did like the 15th anniversary remasters or whatever. Damn.
Yeah.
I had done like these commentaries where I was just talking about the stuff, so people had a little bit of insight, which I thought was fun. If you wanted to, or you don't have
I know
to.
a lot of people like the behind the scenes stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, especially when it's something that's, if you look at it and be like, he went from this to this, And I mean, 15 years is a long time, and you can see this is where I started, this is where I am. There's a difference.
Right.
Why is that? There's a reason. In fact, one of the very first things I ever did is posted in the area I'm labeled the vault, because I wasn't really sure where else to put it. But this was a short that I did back in 1998. Very first time I had my own camera. And you've always heard of these directors. They have home videos and they do all these weird things. That's my version of it. And the only problem is I wish I knew where the original copy was. Because, not to say that this isn't the version that I kind of wanted to do initially. Like, it's practically the version of this short that I'd kind of always envisioned or always dreamed of. But there was a real cut of this where it was like me ad-libbing dialogue. There's a stereo playing music in the background. All the sound effects are in the background because that's all I had. And I was trying to make this thing work. And I remember, this is one of the main reasons it's embarrassing, but I feel like I would embrace it now. The dialogue, I didn't write anything down. I was spitballing it off the top of my head. And I remember there was this one bit in this dialogue where I stumbled. Like I had something I was saying and I fumbled and I was trying to I was like, what? Huh? And you could just hear it and be like, what happened? And I was like, I was trying to keep the momentum going.
I was trying to keep it real, man. Yeah.
And it was so, the past me was like, that's embarrassing. But today I think back on it and I was like, that is kind of funny. So I wish I could find it or a copy of it somewhere.
Right.
But
the non-edited version or the retake or the whatever.
Yeah. So maybe, fate will make it wind up back in my lap somewhere, because I've still got a bunch of VHS tapes that exist, and maybe it's sitting out there somewhere and I just don't realize
it could just be mixed in. Yeah.
It's just getting them off the VHS tape. That's the issue. But yeah,
you can find a VCR that works these days.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But go check out the website. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff out there. I'm trying to make sure that everyone also gets accounted for, and maybe if you are a longtime listener, you've been on the show, maybe I'm thinking about putting in a section for all you lovely siblings who've been supportive over the years, and try to get people to come see your stuff too. I think that would be fun. That way it's not just us. It's all about you too, because you've been so gracious and loving and supportive.
You really have. appreciate you.
And I guess I'll go ahead and say I don't have a specific date, but I guess we'll go ahead and lay it out mid-October maybe. I'll go ahead and say sometime in October, episode 3 of Super Mega Crash Adventures will post.
Thank you all so much for watching, too. It's been odd.
Episode 2 got a lot of love, and I don't know where it came from.
I don't understand YouTube.
I don't either. So...
Because it's dropped too.
Yeah.
Like considerably. So I'm wondering, I don't know, if just like people who might have watched it more than once, maybe the algorithm caught up and was like, okay, well, here's like who legitimately individually different people. I don't know how it works at all. I was actually scared we were getting like botted or something because I've never had anything we've created get more than like a couple of things. Right. So when I saw it go over 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000, I'm like, I don't understand. Something's not right. Like, I couldn't believe people were just, like, enjoying it. I was like, nope, someone's swatted us, or it's not swatted us, spotted us.
Well, what was interesting about it is I probably would have thought the same thing, but we're sitting, like, at one, before the excitement died down, we were looking like we were over, like, 7,000 views for episode 2. Yeah. Now it's come down to, like, what, 5,900, something like that?
Something like that. This is why I don't understand.
I know.
YouTube.
But what I've been most surprised by were the likes. Like, even episode 1 got somewhere over 2,000, which again surprises me, but like 14 likes. This somehow got like 277 just out of the blue as all this was going through, and I'm like, what is going on? We really need to
research all that more. We should know these things. I'm just saying, like, we need to be boomers and just like learn algorithms and like how stuff works. Because like, I mean, something worked there and we just don't know what.
But what was most bizarre about it is not one of my videos has ever had that much love with, you know, the like button, because you hear all the time, hit the like button, hit the like button. Even some of my other non-original videos have likes, but they also have a great number of dislikes to go with it. So the percentage is always off. This is now the most liked video I have, and its percentage is 100%. That's insane.
So weird.
And I'm not saying go out and dislike it, damn it. Don't.
Yeah, please don't. Like,
let me have this
picture now so we can live in this moment anyway. But yeah.
Let me have this, because this is like one of the ones that I'm most proud of, and it's probably one of my favorite things. Don't take that away from me. Please. Let me have this one thing, damn it.
If they start doing it, just don't read it.
Well,
we don't have to consume everyone's opinion about our stuff.
No, I'm just waiting.
If it's a legitimate like criticism that was like, oh, okay. But if it's like just to trash it, we don't have to let that into our brain. No. Like, you could have just turned it off and moved on with your life, you know?
I agree. No, I don't intend to listen to any hatred or viciousness.
Like, just for the sake of it.
Yeah. It's just, I'm proud of that episode and where it wound up. And I just want more people to watch it. I want it to succeed.
Yeah.
I want that show to become more than it is, and it can't be with me in the situation that I'm at. You know?
Right. Wow.
It's difficult. So, hopefully we'll get
having a life.
I know. Damn me for doing so.
I'm telling you, that's been the issue this whole time.
Selfish people and not giving me free money.
I know. I mean, maybe one day. We'll keep fighting for it.
So, hey, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, my gosh. So, I had a couple of things. One we'll kind of talk about a little bit later. But, okay, so I think most people probably realize by now that I can get sucked into, like, really what seems on its face boring, dull, niche games. So as I was doing some research for the pod, of course, like what's going on this week or whatever, I came across this article for this game called Gas Station Simulator. I did the same thing. I rolled my eyes at first. I'm like, why? Like, why? You know? So I read through it and then I was like, all right, let's see. Because it kind of looks like, what's the name? That home decorator one. There's like one where you actually can like rebuild or renovate the home.
I don't remember what it's called.
Words. Anyway, but yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, so it looks kind of like that. So I ended up going, well, I'll just play it for a little bit and see. And then like at 12:30 this morning, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm still playing this damn thing. It's oddly like addicting. I get it. Like I can't make it sound exciting. I'm literally just rebuilding a gas station.
Okay.
That is what I'm doing. And then there is a kid who wants to come around and keep graffitiing my walls, little asshole. And the only way you can get rid of him is throw stuff at him, which I do find kind of hilarious. So I'm just taking like large tires and just like pelting it at his head. And he just kind of like, nah, and the rest of the other side starts again. I'm like, no, jerk, go away. I just painted this. But yeah, so far I have got the outside painted.
Okay.
I have the inside painted and cleaned up. I now have 4 shelves for people to buy snacks and stuff and gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a nice little gas station there.
It's starting. I mean, now they're wanting me to do something with the warehouse out back. So, I mean, there's still a lot to do. That was so I could get deliveries. Because I was running out of chips. And I kept clicking on my shelf going, well, I don't know how to refill this. How do I put more snacks there?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have chips at a gas station.
Right? Chips and drinks and stuff like that. You know, I have a lot of dead space right now because, I mean, well, we're learning as we go. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I'm here for it. I'll probably play some more tonight. I just got really mesmerized in with just, cleaning and then the painting and setting up the thing and then looking around like, look at all the stuff I should be doing in my real life and cleaning and I won't. But here it's fun. Yeah. So I think I finally cleaned out the warehouse and could get some more chips and I restocked.
Nice.
But the problem is, and I don't know if this is a bug, but like I noticed someone knock some cookies off the shelf. Jerks, right? Of course they didn't do anything about it like customers normally would. I don't know how to put it back on the shelf. Yeah, I pick it up and there's like an invisible wall in the shelf and then they just drop again. And I'm like, but how do I...
Just check it outside.
You know what? Now that I'm just talking about it, I wonder if I could get it in my inventory.
Hey,
that might be something I'll have to check later. But like I pick it up and then I tried throwing it into it and it would just like hit this invisible wall. So I have like 3 bags of cookies on the floor right now that I'm like, but that's profit. I've got to figure out how to get it back on the shelf. And nobody's picking them up to buy them.
Ass.
So I'm wondering if I just lost 3 bags of cookie profit. That's like $20, man.
That sucks.
I only have like $200 right now.
Yeah, I don't want to lose $20.
I bought paint and stuff, you know? So like, well, I didn't buy the paint. The paint was free, but I had to buy like the shelves and the gas. Mm-hmm. I have to keep having gas, you know? Anyway, so... That's what I did. And it was so silly that I thought I would only check it out for like, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes. And then like 3 hours later, I'm like, okay, well, I'll probably keep playing this for a while. And then they're going to have one called a restaurant one too. So here I am probably following all these games that do the same thing.
Nice.
I don't know what my problem is, but it was oddly relaxing. So there you go. Okay. I only have 1 gas pump and now I have a parking spot.
Wonderful. No.
I figured out how to use a little excavator. Took a while. Couldn't get the sand out of the spot. And then it would overheat and run out of gas. And I'm like, dear Lord, isn't this why I'm supposed to be able to have employees? I guess I'll eventually unlock them. I see the tab, but it's grayed out. I'm like, I could use some help, man. I got to go pump their gas and clean my floors and restock. And I'm doing the cash register, mind you.
Yeah.
Bloop. They do actually have the purveyor, and then you take it and you bloop and put it in the basket. Bloop, put it in the basket. And some of them are buying like 20 things. Like, why are you coming to the gas station buying like 20 bottles of soda?
It's convenient.
Is it though?
Well, that's
spent $50. No.
That's the idea, though, isn't it? It's a convenience mark. It's like that's why it's so expensive here because it's convenient.
True.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I just kept making it go faster and like bloop, and then I'd see 20 items. I'm like, it's a gas station. What do you mean 20 items? Jesus Christ, people.
Potheads.
I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like it's like the story. I'm like in this middle of nowhere desert, running this gas station for my uncle, who I don't understand yet, but wants me to pay his debts. We're gonna have to get into that. Yeah, like apparently I got to like pay him for this. So I may not know the story completely yet, you know, because I have been just literally futzing around with cleaning stuff and getting everything arranged. But yeah, like he calls my payphone in the front And I got to go answer it. And he's all like, oh, yeah, you know, you got this loan. It was like $5,000. I'm like, how am I have like $200 right now. And then some dude came and beat me up for the money. I didn't have it. So then the uncle calls me like, okay, maybe we need to chat about this. I'm like, maybe let me know what's going on. Here I thought I just had a gas station. And now I have this and I get beat up by some big dude. Like, come on, uncle, what's up? But so outside of what we'll talk about at the end, that's all I really had the energy for this week, to sit at the computer any longer.
All right.
But how about you? Did you run a gas station or a restaurant or a corner store?
No, I was continuing to party in hell in after party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I finished it, but I didn't finish it in the way that I wanted to. And I don't know how you did. Didn't you play it?
I did.
Yeah. I said to hell with Satan because the glass stacking pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I would do so well. And then I would get right here. And then suddenly, bloop. And it was like, damn it, bloop. And it would just, I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't do this. And I did it so many times to the point where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to play this game anymore. I'll stay here.
You win, Satan.
Yeah, I win.
You win.
So that's what and as soon as I got done, I was like, I guess this is where I'm ending this game. And I know you can play through it again and do different endings.
Yeah, I didn't do a second one.
Yeah. I might do it at some point if I feel up to it, but yeah, that glass stacking game just pissed me off to where I was like, I'm done.
Even beer pong kind of got under my skin for a little bit because, like, if you have to drink a couple times, you're like almost instantaneously hammered.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to see, you know, when they have the lines fuzzy to give you the feeling that you're drunk, and I was like, but I can't even tell where the line is.
And even the physics.
What, beer man? Let's go! Come on, suck it up.
Yeah.
You're that drunk already.
But even the physics in the beer pong, like you lining it up and you're kind of looking at it saying, yeah, that looks fine. And then you throw and you undershoot or you overshoot. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the arch here. What the hell's going on?
But I guess we have to realize, like, with the Devil Play Fair.
Nah,
so I guess we could explain it away that way. Like, but it was so beautiful.
Yeah, it was a fun game. And
yeah.
Again, more dialogue heavy, not really action oriented, but still
very story driven.
It was a fun little experiment and adventure. So I
thought it was cute, and I thought it was humorous, and for a one time through, it entertained me. So yeah.
After I got done with that, I moved on to one that I had purchased on sale, and I know we talked about looking into this, so I thought, what the hell, I'll get it and look into it. It was Oxenfree. And I'm having trouble staying engaged with it.
Yeah?
Because
I think I've tried this.
It's like After Party, but not quite like After Party. It's very story heavy. So all I'm really doing is walking and listening to conversations. And then there will be an occasional scene where I have to adjust a radio and make something happen to move on to the next area, but it's just, I'm not saying it's not intriguing, but I guess I'm just not in the mood for walking and talking.
You need a little more action.
Yeah,
yeah, that's fair. I mean,
so I've been kind of playing it in spurts. So I'll play it for a little bit and I'm like, all right, well, I'm done playing this, and then I'll do something else, come back to it, play it a little bit more. So I don't know how far into the game I am, like, story-wise. I know it's probably not all that long, maybe 4 to 6 hours, possibly.
I would imagine.
But again,
that seems right, because it's the same dev team, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to knock it. I mean, it's not like it's not engaging. Well, I think
but again, it's easy for you to be like, it's just not, you're not the audience for it necessarily. You might enjoy the story, but you just enjoy more interaction with your games. That's fair to me.
And because of that, I was trying to find something a little bit more engaging. I know I still have Returnal, which that's another one. I don't think I'm going back to that.
I was gonna say, I thought you beat it for some reason. No, maybe it's just because it's been a while.
I got to a certain point, and then I was just like, I'm. My mentality is just, I'm not in the mood for that. Like this kind of brutal difficulty where it's like, you got to restart everything
Right.
Just I'm not in.
Like, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm not in the right mind space or head space for that. I like a challenge, but not to the point where it's just like, yeah, everything you've done, we're going to piss all over that, and you're going to start over from scratch.
All over, yeah.
So I'm probably not going to go back to that. I know I still have Resident Evil Village to play, but I just wasn't in the mood for that. So I was trying to find something, and I settled on Star Wars Squadrons. I don't know why.
Squadrons?
Squadrons.
Marriage.
And I mean, what I played of it, it was enough to kind of give me some action where I needed it in the moment, because you're just practical. It's kind of like some of the other Starfighter games, except you're in the cockpit, which I don't prefer, but it works, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like I'm blind, when I'm in the cockpit and they're like, hey, look at this.
Is it first person?
Yeah. It's that, first person. Like I think Rogue Squadron, which came out on the 64 and stuff like that. Like, that was my jam. That and it even came out on the GameCube, the sequel did, because they had the third person, and then you just... I love that version of this type of game, and I think that's what they're trying to do here is Rogue Squadron redone, but EA's behind it this time, and they're putting their own damn spin on it. And of course, they got their story mode, and that's what I was kind of engaging with. And what was funny, one little story I'll say about this is I had played it, and I was like, all right, well, I think I'm done for the night, and I was just looking for a stopping point. And then wherever I was in the story just kept going. And I was like, I really would like to stop now. And then this cutscene just kept going. I was like, damn it, I just want to pause the game and stop now. Will you stop? And
they should allow us to pause whenever.
Yeah, because...
I mean, really and truly, without having to skip a cinematic or something. Like,
and that was the option that kept showing up, was skip. And I was like, I don't want to skip. I do want to see this, but I'm done.
I want to see it later.
Yeah. Like, I had to go to the bathroom at that moment in time, and I was like, I'm about to just turn this.
Sometimes that's got to happen now.
Yeah. Like, I can't wait for this.
Can't wait 20 minutes, man.
But I also played something else, but we'll talk about that later as well.
Yeah. Look at us being all mysterious and stuff. I don't know.
But
of course, you probably already saw the thumbnail.
Yeah,
and so
they did.
It is what it is. Probably read the tweet. That's why you're here. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, news.
News. What do we got?
There's a little. I'll be honest. Nothing was that interesting to me this week, which is totally the bar for what I write about. So as you all know, but now Sony always feels to keep poking back in and out of the news here for a couple of reasons this week, at least. And if you all were wondering, no, I didn't get my PlayStation 5. This is why I didn't want to get all excited yet. I knew something was probably going to go wrong. And I got the good old email from Walmart the day it was supposed to be delivered, like, hey, it's going to be delayed. So, which brings me to some articles that I kind of stumbled upon. And I'm wondering if other people experienced this same thing, because I didn't look into it. I was excited, found a unit. Who would have thought anything different, right? But apparently Walmart might actually be just selling units they don't actually currently physically have in the moment. So, because why in the hell would it take 2 weeks to get to my house anyway?
Right.
For the day of, for them to say it's delayed, like, what's the issue? So I don't know for a fact 100% that's the case. But now that I've gone through some articles now dating back since like March, where people were expressing on Reddit or Kotaku or other little articles talking about how people who would order in March wouldn't be getting it till late April, and then so on the curse for each month when they'd have a stock drop. It kind of seems like it might be the case, because there's no reason in the world for shipping to take 2 weeks these days anymore. It's just not. So when I got the message on the 17th saying it's delayed, I kind of feel like they didn't have my PS5 to actually send to me, or else it could have just made it there. So just something to keep in mind. I did reach out to them just to be like, can you give me any kind of update? Because I wanted to see if they'd admit like when it was going to come out. Am I going to get any kind of update or whatever? And very helpful, of course. I might get an email about the update soon. Oh, that was what I found out. So we'll see. I'm gonna give them till next weekend before I start going, so what are you going to do for me for selling me something you didn't have? I'm not usually that person, but for crying out loud in this day and age, don't sell things you don't have.
Yeah, this is a lot.
I don't care if you are Walmart.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, to be fair, they've only done the like dollar ping or whatever. So it's like that keeping it in there or whatever. So they haven't actually charged me. But regardless, there's no reason why I shouldn't have had my system on the 17th outside of maybe you just didn't have it either. So they look like they might have still been fulfilling orders from the previous drop because I ordered on the 25th of August. So I think the people who ordered like 2 weeks before that were just now getting there. So like I said, I'll give it another week before. I'm not going to be rude to the person who answered the phone because I know it's not their fault. No. But like, what can we do here? Because like clearly there's an issue on your end if I'm not getting my system that I ordered 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's kind of garbage business practice. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got in. Like getting,
and I was harassed with your entire system. By the way, the whole push to hold, push to hold, push to hold, push to hold.
Yeah, and that whole system right there, that's already a challenge enough. Like you're going through all these hoops, and then now it's just like, oh well, that was a golden ticket to get one eventually. Yeah.
Once we have stock, baby, we've got your name. We've got your name. So I guess my point of this was just like if you're buying it from Walmart, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That you may not get it when they say. But I'd still rather do that way than reward a scalper.
Yep.
So if I get it, I get it. If I have to wait longer and cancel this one, then it is what it is. But I'm not going to reward bad behavior. Man. I need a water or something today. Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, with the article that you shared me, it sounds like we all need to spell one out for our fellow scalpers. They're not doing as well as they used to. I know. I was like, I wanted to be sad, but the Schadenfreude was too good. Mm-hmm. So Forbes apparently reported that the PS5 resellers aren't having the payday they once had. And apparently are trying to get sympathy from us. Was the call made? I don't know. Like earlier, like what, a year ago, and they were like, we're just business people, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, again.
You are not.
You're trying to get the wrong people's sympathy here because we're the ones trying to get it, and we hate you because we can't because of you. Anyway, but again, eBay and StockX are reporting lowest profit margins, apparently, even though it's still above MSRP. We're looking at like $700-800 or $600 and $700 respectively, instead of the $399, $499. But it's not like $1,000 like it was. So I guess it looks like people might just be finally getting the picture to be patient, or all the people who had that FU money have already bought theirs. So now you're sitting on it and the rest of us are just too poor to pay your asking price. Or they're getting smart. That's what I'd like to think. Maybe people are just getting smart and letting them sit on these systems. But this is what I found interesting about the article that you showed me. So, as we all might have seen in the news, there's a new SKU model of the PS5 that has been coming out, right? Over the last like maybe month it's been, which got discovered by a YouTuber who had like waited and discovered it was a little lighter than the previous model and was wondering why. Come to find out, it has a smaller heat sink in it, which initially did drive concerns for people because I believe on this YouTube channel, Austin something, I have it written down, Austin Evans uploaded a video that was showing that the inside of the newer model was actually running about 2 to 3 degrees Celsius higher than the launch version. So that's a little bit of a concern when you're looking at things being hotter, but it didn't look like there was enough information yet to determine it altogether. So one of the points the scalper was making was that since they had the older models, that they thought that was going to be the selling point for them, right? Because it's like, well, if it's running hotter, you want the older models that's running better. I hate to tell you this, scalpers. I think you might be sitting on the one nobody's going to want. And let me tell you why. Some engineers decided to dig into this, yeah? Apparently, the outside temperature was running 2 to 3 degrees Celsius higher because they were finding that it seems like the fans were actually expelling more heat than the original one. So it's actually running a smidge cooler. So let's see if I can actually understand it here. So Austin was not necessarily wrong, just kind of the wrong conclusion jumped to early, it seems like. So it was dropping the temps about 11 degrees.
Wow.
Which is massive. And according to an analysis, the new PS5 and the old one, it does have the same fan. They do run at the same speed. The newer model apparently was a little bit louder, I guess, because of this. Mm-hmm. Not a lot in decibels, but like it was still a little louder. Power outputs were basically the same. Temp-wise, though, the new PS5, which has 6 heat pipes, same as the launch version, is actually more efficient. Mm-hmm. But it didn't seem to reduce the surface area, which can lead to higher memory temps within about an 8-degree margin of error. So that could be an area to look at. Okay, not going to lie. So how we originally thought, I think resellers, you might have the bad one now. Oops, people. What if you discover they have the old model that's not cooling as well? I mean, I don't know if you'd want to spend $1,000 on one that's not cooling as well, as opposed to the MSRP for the one that's cooling better. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Just, I'm sorry if I lost you a few more sales. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. I mean, I think we're still just fighting the global chip shortage anyway, regardless. So that's not going to have anything to do with the resellers. But I don't know. That made me smile when I read in the article. They're like, well, we're just going to keep advertising. We have the older model. And I wanted to be like, oh, please do.
Yeah, please do.
Because I'm starting to see all of the evidence coming out about it. And please let them know which model you have, please.
Yeah. Why, anyway. If you were going to update your model, why would you do something to make it less efficient? Like, that just sounds ridiculous. Because if you're going to do that, your price is going to drop because you made it, a little bit.
Well, I can see why people automatically defaulted on a price-saving measure. They're like, oh, it weighs less. They're probably skimping on something because, I mean, they're really not selling these at a profit, right? Like, if we're being honest. So I could see how people instantly wanted to default to, oh, it's a smaller heatsink. This is getting great. So Sony's now trying to cut some corners here because of all the madness or whatever. But no, there was some method to it. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on that one spot that they seemed to be a little concerned about with it overheating around where like the memory would by a little bit more within like 8 degrees, which is still huge. Even 1 or 2 really in those systems can mean a lot, but not enough that it's going to crash the whole thing down. But, yeah, I'm just saying, scalpers got the bad versions right now, guys, I guess is what I should tell you. Anyway, but they did have an update this week for those of you. So, like, you got look like little UI tweaks. I think what they said September 15th, PlayStation got a little update for 3D audio support for your built-in speakers now that M2 SSD storage is available to use. Again, I still encourage you to please look up the PlayStation video and all of that on how to take the unit apart, which memory card you need, because they are, or storage, I'm sorry, because they are telling you it's very specific which one. So please just do your research is all I'm saying before you might accidentally brick your own machine. And Sony themselves has put out a 4-minute long video guiding you through how to take it apart properly, where the slot is and all this kind of stuff. So I recommend it. You might already be a god with tech and know it, but if you're like me and who dabbles with it and just want to make sure that you're not screwing up your machine, watch it and make sure you've got the right storage is all I would say, because it does seem to be a very specific storage that'll be compatible with it, and that ain't going to be cheap either, just to let you know, because that SSD that they're talking about is also quite expensive. So probably another reason you want to pay attention to make sure that you're getting the right one, because that could be a lot of money out the window if you screw all that up. And it also looks like that update looks like PS5 and 4 games now finally have separate slots in the library, which I'll be honest, I didn't realize that they were merging them together.
I did see that. Like, it was just something that didn't register, but I did notice it was like, oh, yeah, your system updated. And as I was thumbing through games, when I was looking for something, and I was like, oh, yeah, look at that. So it says PS4, PS5, PS4, PS4. And I was like, oh, cool.
Which seems like it would have been a common sense thing to put in right away. But I mean, I don't know how these things go and how you decide what's more important to go out right away. Looks like PSN players can now choose between 720 and 1080p streaming resolutions if you want. A new trophy tracker tool. I thought you might like that since you do like to do trophy hunting. And then some other smaller changes, it looks like, for people who use like the remote play apps. So yeah, it looks like September 23rd, if you stream the games over remote play, you'll now have the option to use your mobile data instead of your Wi-Fi. if for some reason that's what you would want to do. I feel like people's mobile plans might have more of a cap on their data. I don't know. Everyone does their own thing anymore. The first time I ever heard about home internet having a data cap blew my mind. I was like, oh, that's where we are now. But yeah, maybe that'll wrap up my Sony news. Got your update. Careful if you buy from Walmart. And still don't buy from scalpers.
Yeah, please don't.
I hope they're drowning in it. I do.
They deserve.
Like, in my head, and I know this is not correct, but I just envision of like there's this warehouse floor to ceiling of all these units they just can't move, and I'm like, oh, you might have to sell it for less than MSRP to get rid of it. Aw. I'd feel so bad. Anyway. All right, there is a little Activision Blizzard update this week. There was a little bit. I mean, it's not going to sound like blatantly different news, just more of the same that's kind of going on here. But at this point, Activision Blizzard last week, first bit of news, another lawsuit is being filed by the employees of the company to the company for attempting to union bust and intimidate. Looks like they're officially moving forward with their own lawsuit under the ABK, which is the Workers Alliance they formed with the support of the Communication Workers of America Guild, which I had to look up. It's a labor union founded by like newspaper journalists to fight for honesty in journalism and labor practices and things like that. So that's kind of like the division that does if you were like me and didn't know. But they're helping them file an unfair labor practice suit with the National Labor Relations Board because of, well, the aforementioned, the union busting and intimidating. So the ABK sent out a press release accusing Activision Blizzard of using coercive tactics to attempt to prevent its employees from exercising their rights to stand together and demand a more equitable, sustainable, and diverse workplace. It also says that Activision Blizzard has threatened employees, told them they cannot discuss wages, hours, or working conditions with each other, maintained an overly broad social media policy as well. So I guess if you said anything snarky online, that it was just broad enough that they could include it, probably. Allegedly, I guess I should say. And then both engaged in surveillance and enforced its policy against employees who engaged in protected concerted activity. So an anonymous employee was speaking out to Vice that some of the more outspoken employees of the company had recently been told their work performance just seems to be lagging behind all of a sudden and isn't as good as it used to be, along with the company just hemorrhaging people, it seems, since this lawsuit began as well. Yeah. I guess good luck with that then, too, Activision Blizzard. They did make a new hire, though. We'll see if that does any good. Yeah. They hired former Disney executive Julie Hodges as the new HR boss lady.
Because now we're just trying to put window dressing on it.
I don't know. I get concerned here only because Julie might be lovely. She might be very well educated. It could turn this ship around. I really don't know. But Bobby Kotick was very praiseful of her. That's why I get pause. That's the only reason. He seemed to be very excited about her joining the board. And if he's excited, just that part of me goes, But I don't know.
Hey.
I don't want to judge this woman because I've really not done any more research out of this.
No. But hashtag burn it all down. It's where I stand right now.
I mean, we kind of said as infiltrated as it seemed to be, it almost would have to just kind of start all over and just get rid of everyone who was involved from the get. But yeah, we'll see how she fares. Apparently she was the senior vice president of corporate HR and compensation benefits and talent acquisition at the Walt Disney Company. So she's coming in to replace the current CPO, Claudine Naughton. I don't know. But again, I hate that my brain works like this. But since Bobby Kotick was so happy about it, or at least appeared to be happy about it in the article when he's being interviewed, the blah, 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 blah. So she was with Disney for 32 years. She's very excited, of course, as everyone is when they join a new workforce.
Sure.
And she will work hard for you to feel valued and trusted and engaged in a safe work environment, and encourages creativity and innovation in which all employees can thrive. So, Julie, I do hope that is the truth.
I mean, let me put it to you like this.
These people deserve better.
2 years ago, my company that I work for hired a new person to come in and fix things because things were broken. and she was going to come in and just make it all better. And for a moment, I almost bought into it. And then I watched her burn it all down and destroy the department I work in. And guess what? She's leaving now. She came in, lit a fuse, set off the bomb, and then said, "Bouncing out," and she's gone. And
yeah, that sounds about
now
right.
I'm sitting there going, what? I mean, like, I hate my job even more than I did. Like, it was tolerable when I was left alone in my little hole. But now, because of her, I'm in a room with people. People I don't want to be around. Some people I do want to be around, but other people I don't want to be around. And I don't look forward to going. Who does look forward to going
This
to work?
is why it's like, I know people say, like, lie on your interview, you'll learn later. Maybe just, like, legit know a few things.
Yeah.
Before you're hired and then come in, because you'll be found out. And then I guess you get to leave while everyone else picks up the pieces. So I guess win-win for the individual. But we'll just see how that shakes out. I do truly hope that her mission statement is the truth and she'll work for that. And we'll just have to wait and see what time tells, really. Who knows if all of this is just stuff to make us think things are starting to move around, too. But it looks like the employees are brave enough to be coming out to the news outlet. So keep your shit together. I think they're going to just keep exposing all of it at this point. They're fed up with your garbage, people. Quick hits. We have a few. Yeah. See, there wasn't that much news this week that really I was like, interesting. I'm telling you. Like, yeah, we could talk about some of these other Nintendo Switch got a Bluetooth update. I hope y'all are excited. It broke some people's devices, but it's okay. Didn't like break, I know.
But still, come on.
It was having a little bit of issues for some people, they were reporting. So it's like, hey, yay, we finally have Bluetooth audio. You can have a hands-free headset. Sounds glorious and lovely. Some people's headsets weren't compatible. Some people were finding the firmware update, which is 13.0. If you're looking, I don't know if you're the type that like screw this and can backtrack out of an update. But there you go. Prior to that. But I guess like it includes the Joy-Con as a Bluetooth thing too. So if you were playing with the Joy-Cons in a headset, you can't play with a third person the way it made it sound. So you'd have to like decide if you want your Bluetooth controllers. It doesn't sound like you can have like all the devices at once yet. Well, they might look into why. I don't. Yeah. But it supports up to 10 saved Bluetooth pairings according to the notes. So I'm not sure why that conflict is happening, but I don't create tech. Yeah, I don't know. So just like I saw somebody said if you like hard shut down the Switch, like legit turn it off, not just the sleep mode, and let it sit for a little bit and turn it back on, that they found it was connecting better and they were having fine, but some of them were even saying it's a little bit of a lag to it. I don't know. So those of you who thought you were getting rid of your USB dongle, like maybe wait a minute. I don't know. Don't throw it away just yet. But hey, there it is. And hopefully it's working for you. So if you're having one of those issues, like start it, like what they say, run a power circuit, turn it off, turn it on again. And then if you want to play with people, maybe use the Pro Style gamepad for one as well. And then, so there's workarounds.
Sure.
There's workarounds. I know you shouldn't have to use the workarounds, but I don't know. It's a convenience thing. So I feel like it's weird to just complain about a free thing you didn't know you were getting that you got, and then now it doesn't work the way you like. I always feel like it's like those people, stop. You didn't know it was coming. Shh.
Yeah.
Shh. Let's see here. I thought you might think this is fun. People who are playing Monster Hunter Rise get a new skin.
Yeah.
Mega Man 11's Canine Companion. You get a Palamute armor that you can put on your Palamute. Turns them into Mega Man's Rush.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cute. You get some special moves. Looked like they could sprint while they were riding in the air. I don't know. The dog levitates with like his hind legs.
Yeah.
Go in. It was, I don't know. I like their little propelled engines when he was flying, like his back legs would. I don't know. I thought it was cute. So if you're into that sort of thing, September 24th for that drop, you can turn your Palamute into Rush.
I mean, if I played this version of the game, I probably would have been more excited. Like, I was excited when they did the Mega Man crossover with Monster Hunter World. So, Yeah, I would be all into this, but I have not played it. Not that I don't want to. It's just playing that game on the Switch feels like...
Is it harder to do, I imagine?
I don't like the teeny weeny little controllers.
Oh, yeah, I finally got the regular size, big boy.
Yeah. I mean, I play... When I do play, I use like the... I guess it's a
Gamepad?
GameCube Pro controller.
Oh, you got
thing.
one of those? Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I would like the actual Pro controller. It looks
Yeah.
more like an Xbox controller or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's just, it's convenient. I've got it, and it's like, well, whatever.
I don't blame you. Yeah. It's like, I really don't play it enough to want to pump that much money into
Right.
it. Not knocking the system. It's just, I don't know. We all got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, THQ Nordic had their 10th anniversary digital showcase last week. Showed us some Destroy All Humans 2. Reprobed. Sorry, gotta finish the entire title. Superpower 3, Alex, which I know some people were excited about. I'm not. It's not for me, but it looks gorgeous, and I could understand. I could see why people are kind of drawn to it because there is a unique element there.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was funny the way they just ended the entire events, like assumed all super serious, to reveal SpongeBob SquarePants Cosmic Shake 2. I have to admit, it made me laugh, and that was like the big finale, rounding it all up, all feeling serious and shit. But they did leave us a message saying 42 games are currently in development, 28 that are still not even announced. So they're trying to hook us in like, ooh, lots of games coming, lots of them. I mean, I'll keep an eye out. We'll see.
Sure.
You know, if they look good, I'm sure we'll talk about it. But if you want to go see their 10th anniversary digital showcase, they just put it up. It's on their channel. They did introduce more games than that, but I just thought it'd be like, hey, 30 games, supposedly. All right. It'll be leaked in the next day. Thanks for saying that.
Sure.
Hey, Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil is now a Rainbow Six Siege skin. There you go.
Woo.
This week was super interesting.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'm going to mention, because if you're an FMV fan like me, like you should be, in my opinion, Wales Interactive and Good Gate Media at it again. They got one's caught my eye called Bloodshore. It's an interactive movie. It looks like a battle royale between just different types of content creators, like if you're a streamer or YouTuber or whatever. Drop them on an island and go! And I'm here for it. It just says November right now. So soon, just we don't know which day in November, but I want it.
Yeah. And hey,
maybe
we'll talk about that when it comes out. You know, that's a thing that
Give
could
me
happen
it.
too.
That is a thing that could happen. I keep an open mind. You never know. But yeah, that was all of my little quick. It's what you got before we.
I did. There was one thing, and whether or not it's big news, but it'll kind of piggyback off of the Nintendo Switch news. I saw a headline the other day that said this week, I think they're going to be doing a new direct, talking about the last DLC for Smash Brothers. I'm almost positive I read that.
Oh yeah, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate DLC Fighter will be revealed. At least that's
Yeah.
the first one that showed up.
So if you're looking forward to that, sometime this week.
Yeah.
Do they have a date? Does it say?
That's what I was looking for. How would I have not seen this?
Well, it just came across
Somewhere in September or early October is what it looks like right now, is what it's saying. So I'm guessing either next week or the next couple weeks, I guess. If
Okay.
they're saying late September, early October.
Well, in any case, I saw it late last night, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll put that and follow that away. But that's all I could.
To look out
That's
for.
all I had.
Excellent. Well, it looks like we kind of sort of coded a headliner, unbeknownst to me. But this could be interesting. Let's see. I wrote good stuff, though. I wrote things. We won't talk. I wrote things. Anyway, the Artful Escape came out, and it was one that had my eye. Just how unique and ridiculous the whole concept seemed, and my love for childish tomfoolery. Yes. I was here for it. So I wrote a review about it. Come to find out, Steven might have played it too. So we'll actually get to have a straight up conversation about it as well. So a different review.
Yeah. So let me explain how this happened. As you were talking about it, talking about wanting to do a review about this, I started doing some digging into the game, and it was really starting to catch my eye. I was like, this looks kind of interesting. And I wasn't sure what it was, and I didn't really dig too deep, but, I was kind of digging what I was seeing as far as the art style was concerned, which, if you're going to be called the Artful Escape, you better be...
You're hanging your hat on it right there.
Yeah. But I decided to go out on a limb, and I reached out to the developers and invited them onto the show. Now, I got a response from Jules Engel, who I don't know what his involvement is specifically. I tried looking it up credit-wise, but...
might be community management of some sort as well, too, yeah.
But anyway...
It still counts.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to take away any title for those people.
But I was given the, post-launch, we're looking to spend time with family and relax. And I understand that. I knew that, it was a long shot. But I tried. But they said if you want a code, we'll give you a code.
There you go.
And I thought, okay. And I you know what? I honestly, whether or not they're listening to this, I kind of hope they are, just because they understand. I was very, very close to saying no, not because I was trying to be rude, like, I don't want your stupid game. It was just like, I don't want to take away from you,
yeah,
any
like
profits.
You weren't after something free.
No,
you were legitimately interested in these humans and wanted to chat. Yeah,
you pay, you got it. And I was like, if it's good enough, I want to go get it. And so I really debated on this, and I was like, I don't want to take away from them. They're an indie developer's first game. I don't want to take away from their pocketbook. So if I could donate to them, I would, because...
Well, would they give you a Steam key?
They did.
There you go. Hop onto Windows and buy it there or something. You could just buy it on a different platform.
I was actually hoping that is actually one thing, is if it does come to another platform, like PlayStation 4 or 5.
Sure.
I don't know why I went back to 4. Jesus.
Just habit.
But if it did wind up there, I'll definitely buy it to give them my money for something, because I told them it was incredibly generous, and I appreciated it, and told them that the invitation was open should they ever want to change their mind.
That would be very interesting.
Because after playing this game, I'm so eager to talk to them, because
Curious, right?
as I mentioned earlier, playing Oxenfree, which was something a bit more narrative, it just, I couldn't get into it. This, I got sucked into immediately, and got even more sucked into it the more I played.
Yeah.
So I stayed up late last night finishing this game because I wanted to finish it.
That's what I did Friday.
Yeah.
I stayed up, made sure I did it almost in one go.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like I did the intro the weekend before, maybe, and then long week, and then Friday I was like, no, and I kept going until it was over, and I was like, aw.
Yeah, I started it yesterday morning, and I didn't sit down and play it all at once, but it was just like as soon as I got started, it was there in my head going, let's go back to that game, and I was like, yeah, okay,
another hour or so, let's do that, yeah. So, as you could probably tell, this game's a little something else. Mm-hmm. It is a little something else. It kind of gives off, I don't know about you, like if Bill and Ted and Jimi Hendrix had a love baby.
Yes.
While tripping on LSD. I was totally there for it. I've heard some really great descriptions from people. But yeah. Keep in your head, Bill and Ted. I feel like there's got to be some...
Your
right there.
Your name, when they say your name... That was exactly...
I had that written down. That's what I thought. That's what I had that written down. Exactly. But, all right, so as we were already saying, this game's very narrative-driven, right? Psychedelic, visually stunning. As you're just kind of running through these amazingly creative backgrounds, as you just shred on your guitar, platforming through just gorgeous set pieces. But what is it? Well, it is a story of Francis Vendetti, who's voiced by Michael Johnston, the nephew of the town of Calypso's own famous folk singer, Johnny Vendetti, who is a generational folk rock icon. You gotta understand, this town's in love with this guy. He made him come up, right? Think Bob Dylan.
And
you know, like the sound.
He did look like Bob Dylan. Like if you
A
saw the
little bit.
pictures, there was
Yeah,
very
in
Bob,
the posters.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like I feel like it did a very good job of what it was trying to do, and just go along for this ride. So Johnny Vendetti, he's a legend, but it was gone too soon, of course. So upon the start of the game, we are taken through some beautiful scenery as we land on the protagonist sitting on a bench at the cliff's edge playing his guitar. And your very first prompt is to strum a folk ballad about the toil of a miner's life. Hold shift or X, I guess, whatever. I was playing it on PC. And then so you hold shift and you let them strum for a little bit, you know, and they do these things. And then the tone's a little different on the second one. I'm sure you could tell, right? Because, and I definitely intentional. Like his heart and his passion's not necessarily in this style. So you could kind of feel it in the way he was strumming on the second time, right? But you get to meet Violetta in this same little scene, who I totally I dug her character so much. Voiced by Carolyn Kinney. Through this dialogue, we're told of a performance Francis is to give in his hometown of Calypso tomorrow, as he is basically the reincarnated Johnny, right? And his performance is going to be the genius live show for the townsfolk that they've been missing since Johnny's passing. So all of this is just put on Francis. You are now Johnny, basically. You're going to rock it like him. You're going to bring money to the town. This is what you're going to do. So as you're having this dialogue with Violetta, she's listening to his jam session. You know, she was hearing it, and unbeknownst to him, he had no idea she's eavesdropping. But she happened to see something special in this Francis, you see. Saw something there and encouraged him to go seek out Lightman's. Well, I mean, he's lived in Calypso his whole life. There's no such thing called Lightman's. He's like, you're wrong. This isn't here. We have this dialogue. She leaves. Well, what does he do? We're going to look for Lightman's anyway, right?
Right.
Duh. We got to go see where this place is. So this is kind of the part where you get to explore the town and get a little bit more of a back feel on his story. I would take it because you're getting to walk through the towns. You see the posters, you know, of Johnny and how they just lifted him up and really enjoyed it. And you hear the townsfolk kind of talking about how excited they are about like this concert and all this kind of stuff. And just reminisce on through as you're listening to his inner dialogue about all of these things going on. But I really dug the style here, which is where it kind of stood out. I think they call it like hinged movement.
Yeah.
Like a marionette, kind of. I thought it was really cool. I don't know. It's not like it's the first time I'd ever seen it.
Right,
It's just like this other level of added touch to just the whole overall feel of the game that it just worked for me. But yeah, the activity just kind of lies in the major joints. I don't know why it keeps you siblings understand what I'm saying. So as we go through the town, we learn a little bit more important about the show, placing huge pressure on Francis, and we see the posters. But he's tired, he's done, he goes home. Never could find Lightman's, right? Doesn't exist. Spent your whole day doing this stuff. But I guess he didn't have to. And just to let you all know, in this review here, there will be some minor spoilers moving from here on out. I'm not going to try to spoil the entire thing, but there will be minor story stuff if you're the type that's like likes to go in blind. Love you, bye, follow, like, but you may not want to listen anymore.
And look, I'll even say this. I went in practically blind, like having no idea what I was in for. And I don't want to discourage anyone from listening forward.
Sure. But I get it.
But that also kind of gave me some sort of thrill because I didn't know what I was in for. Like when I started it, I was like, okay, I see what this game is probably going to be. Maybe a little story. Because again, Oxton Free, I'm sitting there just playing that. And I thought, well, okay, so I'm doing this again. And then the story changes and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not what I was expecting.
Not at all. Yeah, so it does take a little bit of a turn here where I feel like the rest of my review, it'll have slight little spoilers in it, but nothing that I think is going to take away from the overall feel, and definitely not your ending or anything like that. But moving forward, as Francis ends his day of searching for Lightman, he didn't really need to search too hard. They found him, right? So this is where it gets super interesting for me, because Lightman, we find out, is actually an aging musician wanting Francis to come along with him to shred in the galactic universe. or as he puts it, across the dilated pupils of the cosmos, which I just loved. So with a little back and forth between the characters here, we set off in the spaceship, of course, named the Cosmic Lung, where Lightman is the space rock god captain, promising to have him back in time, of course, for a show the next day. Like, well,
Sure.
we can shred across the entire galaxy and have you home in plenty of time to play some folk music, of course. So, and then from here, I just say buckle in. Just buckle in, because it's tomfoolery, it's ridiculousness, and I don't even know what to say. Like, there's really not a whole lot as far as playing this game. It plays like a platformer, but more of an experience.
Yeah.
I feel like more of an experience than a game, because, yeah.
Journey is the game that it made me think of from PlayStation 4,
Yeah,
3 and
yeah,
4,
yeah.
where you're just going, not to say it's similar in that regard, but
It's not a walking simulator, but... yeah.
but it's an experience. You are doing things, you are trying to get to another point, but it's not this super difficult platformer.
No. Yeah.
I mean, there are some, you can make a mistake, sure, but obviously you can reset and whatever.
I feel like there's no consequences
Right,
though,
right.
for having made the mistake.
And I mean, obviously that could be said of Journey in some way, but still, it is the journey. It's the experience of what you're doing, and that's what makes it so engaging.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was 100% about the feel and the music and all of it colliding into one. So yes, you are platforming, and you're going to be going right for a while, and you're probably only going to be pressing shift or whatever platform you're playing it on to shred your guitar, but then the background will come to life.
Yeah.
Or colors will start to swirl. And if you haven't looked at this game, just how gorgeous the colors pop and move through in and of itself is just, you get mesmerized and sucked into it. And even sometimes where the creatures are so interesting that they created in here. Not like you have these big fights or anything, but just like there'll be creatures that are floating around in the background of the different galaxies or the different planets, or however you want to articulate it as you're going through. Sometimes if you stay there long enough, they'll start jamming with you, and it was so cute to just kind of see like one of the little monsters raise up and just kind of like pretend like they're hitting on some bongos or something. I'm like, this is just, it's an experience, y'all.
Yeah.
I almost wish to see it in VR, not to port the controls or anything in VR, but
Right.
like in the theater mode,
Oh, yeah.
because then you can have all of the colors just like completely immersive and a surround sound into your headset. And I almost feel like that would be such a beautiful way to experience it.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't want you to do VR controls. Let's not complicate all that. I mean, I guess it would still be left and right. Like, I don't want to be in first person. I just want to kind of see this surround sound theater mode. But if I understood the Cosmic Lung correctly, you've got to entertain before they let you go on to the next planet, right? So whatever entertained for them is. But yeah, you get to go through the little galaxy, and you find yourself in these really unique situations as you're just trying to jam and find your inner persona that you've now decided, you know what? Maybe I don't need to be this full person this whole time. Maybe I can take Violetta's advice and be a persona. So this is where I kind of enjoyed the humor of the game, because now I kind of want to know what your person's character was.
Okay.
Because it's definitely not serious in that way. You can name yourself. And as we were nearing time for me to take on the name that you want to be, you get a few choices as to what to name yourself. And I mean the title for your choices. You can give your own name, whatever you want. But
Adjective.
the title, yes. There's so many to go through, by the way, so take your time if you really want to get into the RPG of it. But, like, you can choose from the incredible or evil or whimsical, among others, you know? So I was the incomparable Inigo Montoya, first soloist of the intergalactic transmissions from Galaxram, the planet known for, you know, we just brew milk that transports all consumers to a Manchester dance party in September 1987.
Uh-huh. I wish I'd have written mine down, but I think I can remember.
Okay, or at least the title.
No, I remember some details. I was the adventurous Super Mega Crash.
I love it.
From the Cosmic Extraordinary, the leader of the galactic or loud galactic super orchestra or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool.
Fun, yeah. Okay, so this is where you can have a little bit of fun with it. And as we were saying earlier, how we really wanted you to remember that Bill and Ted. Mm-hmm. So any time from heretofore, once you have given yourself the name and you are being referred to as your name, the character will say the incomparable, and it's this amazing guitar riff that happens every single time, and I loved it.
And
I loved it.
Like she said, the Bill and Ted, when they're sitting there doing their little air riffs to one another, that's pretty much, think that.
Think that. And it's every time, and I love it. I just loved it. So anyway, moving through it, I mean, I guess you kind of have boss battles. Let's take that back, maybe. So really and truly, the star of the game here, as we've already been saying, is the gorgeous scenery, shredding your guitar. It's very much like a platformer, but no real platforming hurdles, challenges, things like you'll jump, you'll do this, that, or the other to move yourself through. And you can tell this why, again, I feel it was more of an experience because the gameplay itself is quite easy. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think it was meant to be this huge challenge, but you move left to right, you hold shift or X, I would imagine, if you're, or I don't know, whatever controller, to just riff the guitar the entire time. You could double jump. You could jump regularly. If you jump and then shred your guitar, he does a really amazing jump in the air and strum and lights fly all around you, which you always have to try to time when you're jumping off those big things.
Yeah.
Because the gorgeous scenery in the background for you to just jam to. And then I guess when it's time to play a song, this is where you're getting more of a series of QTEs to finish through before moving on. So this is where I kind of considered it my boss battles, because it would be the bigger, more interesting creature that would come out that you have to entertain before you can move on. And think of also Simon Says. I feel like it was almost even set up kind of like Simon Says. Or what you played with the controller, was it? I would imagine set up the same way.
Pretty much the same way, because I had started on keyboard as I was playing, and then obviously they were just well, it's so much better with a controller. That's what they tell you. Which I'm
lied to quite often by devs. I'm just saying, there's very rarely where your joypad, whatever. See, I don't even know how to say it. Controller.
Yeah. But I also feel that the controller that I have is kind of, I don't know, it's got some issues because I kept having controller issues, and I'm not blaming them. I think it's my controller, because if I was trying to move left, sometimes it would stick, but then if I used the pad, it would start moving. So I think I've got a problem with my left.
Might be something in the Joy-Con.
And then even my buttons, when it came time to those musical boss battles, sometimes I thought I was doing everything. And of course, sometimes my memory would lapse and I'd be like, shit, I forgot what they hit. But
oh, dude, I did that so much.
Yeah. But at times I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I hit the button, didn't I? And then, so I don't know. I'm not blaming the developers for any kind of shoddiness. I honestly feel like it was my controller.
Well, I'll just say I'm awesome at QTEs, and even this broke my brain a couple times. But it's also because it was laid out differently, because I was using QWEAD. Okay, and WASD is my life. That's where my hand naturally rests, because it's just what I've done. So when I'm trying to add the 3, and I'm having to make my fingers look like this, my brain broke a couple times. I'm not gonna lie. Bum, bum, boom. Bum, bum, boom. And I'm like, oh my god, and I'm staring at it, and I know what to do, but my fingers wouldn't do it. So again, though, there was no consequences for me having missed several times in a row, which, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if you're the type that would wanted that challenge to make you have to start all over. I'm okay with it personally, but yeah, just till you get it right. Keep going if it's struggling a little bit there, but that might be the only real challenge that I came across in being able for the gameplay. Is just sometimes it would break my brain when I had to hit 3 buttons, and I was not moving along with it well enough at midnight, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, so we're moving through the galaxy still, and I don't know, to me, I feel like that might be about it. Although, if you're a Ryan George fan, did you catch it then, since you played it? Did you catch it?
So it was that, yes, I did.
I don't know if that's what it's legitimately from, but there is a line, which I caught, that nearing the end, a creature's very impressed with how you made it out and giving you all these accolades because the incomparable Inigo Montoya was amazing, and just replied, "Oh, it was barely an inconvenience." And I
did.
was like, and so I screenshot it. So I don't know, Debs, if you're listening, are you a Ray George fan, or is this just a really happy coincidence? Because for me in that moment, it just was like, oh, two things I'm now loving together. Yeah. Aw. So okay, so you did catch it, but we'll see. So from here, I feel like not going into any more story is appropriate because this has moved pretty far along. And if you're the type that's interested in this, I think the rest of it just moving along through as an experience. Because I tell you, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And the music, I will admit the background music with the shredding sometimes kind of screwed with my headspace.
Yeah.
But if you paid attention, some of it, like when you got to take control of the guitar again, because sometimes I'll admit I forgot what to do. Like I'd be hitting shift if I was moving on like a ship or something, and nothing would happen. So I was like, all right, maybe I'm not supposed to shred right now. Come to find out I was supposed to be like actually doing the strumming of the guitar. I feel like it catches up. Yeah. Maybe I'm screwing with my own mind. But like if I'm just sitting there like hitting QWE, AD, it almost felt like the background music would start to accommodate. Or they did really well in choosing the music choices that it tricks your brain, and it worked. Yeah,
that definitely could be it, because there was at least one moment where they gave you free reign, and I was trying in my peanut little brain to be like, I'm doing something awesome. I'm hitting this button.
I am wailing.
Look at me. And the music was sounding pretty good, and I was like, "Am I really doing this? Did I find something?" You know,
that's what I thought. So I don't know. I'm leading to believe you probably just did genius sound design, and then it just would catch up like that. Because I don't know how in the world you can even program to know what the hell I'm going to be pounding on.
Yeah,
for a button, but it worked. It works. And also, did you notice you could turn it up to 11?
I did not.
Yeah, that was another nice little touch. If you go, I'm one of those, I love going through options and stuff just because I need to futz with everything on how I know I'm going to want to play it instantly. Rarely do I go with the mapping devs give me, so if I have a chance to remap, that's my first place I'm going to. And I always mess with the volume, too. 11, nice touch.
Thank you. I did not catch that. Oh my God, that is beautiful.
So, as you can tell, the sound and the backdrop is definitely what is really bringing in the experience here. Along, it's just a truly lovely experience. Now, if you're the type that wants way more interaction out of your games and stuff, this may not be it for you, because you're legit pretty much just moving through and then hitting a couple of buttons to play your guitar or not, but it's bringing up just so much liveliness to the background as you're doing these things that I truly feel like it was meant more of just like a sit back and enjoy this freaking acid trip that I had one day, because every single scene, my God, is so drastically different and crazy and out there. And
I mean, not only is it a feast for the eyes, but the ears as well, because it is a love letter to music. I honestly feel like, I mean, you have to have those influences and understandings of everything they're doing. Like we mentioned, the main, or not the main character, but his uncle. If you pause the
Johnny.
game and you get to see his visage, he resembles a very young Bob Dylan. So that is clearly a reference there. And you'll hear different references throughout the game. There was, I don't know if it was a store or they had referenced a store, but it was called Plant and Page. You know, I mean...
Yeah, you have to read some of that. I feel like I probably missed some. I did try to take my time, though. And, like, I would stop and just try to take in the atmosphere, because I could tell, especially when you're moving through the town, I'm like, I need to be reading all these. Because I'm sure I'm missing some just, like, fun little Easter eggs or something in there. Because there was a lot of care and time taken through these things that I could tell. So, yeah, I mean... I don't know. Shout out to Johnny Galvatron, man, directing this piece. Like, this was interesting. But there was a lesson to learn. Just believe in yourself, man.
For sure. Now,
Believe in yourself.
don't tell me you're gonna like skirt over one of the, or few of the more impressive details, like the voice cast.
Oh, yes, I did start to mention it, but okay. Again, this might be spoilery because I know, well, when you discover who it is, maybe. I'll just say there is a larger creature that you have to impress before you can get to your big payday. I don't know how to say it without spoiling or whatever. Yeah, Lena Headey?
Yeah.
Lena Headey? Yeah. Interesting get.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I even saw his name in the credits when you start the game, and for some reason, my brain, when Lightman started to talk,
Yes.
I did not correlate Carl Weathers, even though I saw
Yes.
his name, and I was
Yes.
like, he sounds familiar. I was like, duh, Carl Weathers.
Yeah. I had to go look on IMDb because like some of them would sound familiar, and I was just like, is this one of those that I can't remember now? Because we've had so many indie games come out with like larger actors, I guess, in like the movie and TV space coming over into games, and I'm like, is this one that had it too? I can't remember now because we just had 12 minutes and something else come out that had like these bigger name stars.
Zom, I think was the character's name, the guy who's
Yes.
like your...
Oh, yeah.
That was Jason Schwartzman.
Jason
And
Schwartzman,
he
yeah.
does, that was kind of like perfect for him, like in his wheelhouse, kind of, the character's a little smarmy, I guess, and he kinda
sure.
has that, he can do that in spades any day
I
of the
have
week.
to say, though, again, spoilers, I thought we were going to have to, like, battle him.
A little bit, yeah. Because did you
Why
see...
was his face like that?
Right?
Yeah. I kept waiting. I'm like, when are we going to have to prove to him that we are who we say we are?
Right?
I don't know.
Just a design choice, I guess, for the entire game.
I guess, but it was just like, you kept thinking. I kept waiting for that to be the case, but no. But yeah, so they did definitely get some all-stars in the voice cast. It's weird for me, though, because, like, when I hear how well it is, like, in my opinion, it could have been anyone.
No, yeah.
Like, I get why you want some of these actors and stuff in there, because it definitely probably drew way more eyes than if it was quote-unquote no-name voice actor. But, yeah, I guess it's, like, why it never really clicks with me as something to look up unless I, like, ooh, this is a very interesting sound I've never heard before.
Sure.
Because if they're doing their job, I'm not really thinking about the actor behind it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously not, but, But
I get your point.
Yeah, it was worth
it was
bringing up.
interesting. Yeah.
I will say, in kind of opposition to that, I don't know how you felt about this, but I was amused by it. And this isn't spoilerish, or not meant to be anyway. But I think it's on the second world you visit. There is a character that doesn't speak. It doesn't speak with a voice, but with music.
Right, yeah.
And it's like trumpets, I think it is, or something to that effect. I was so amused by that. I don't know why, but I loved it so much. Like, there was another character that did something similar to that, but it just wasn't the same. Like, I liked that. The way that
just
came
liked
off.
the sound of
Yeah,
it.
just...
Oh! The guy at the kind of on the ship.
Yeah,
She's like, don't talk to him directly. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then when you find out why, I laughed so hard.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry if we're spoiling this for everyone.
No.
Oh my God, there's so many good moments in there that like.
We're giving them reasons to want to go check it out.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I almost forgot about that part for a minute. Now I'm like all happy all over again. And I did have to turn it down.
Yeah.
It was too much. I think that's when I noticed that actually we went up to 11 because like I felt like I was turning my computer sound down, but it was not getting lower in my headset. So I ended up just having to like use the actual audio sound and the game to do it. And then I was at 11 and I was like, does that mean like I'm not allowed to turn it down unless it's off? Because like I'll admit some of it was just a little too loud for me. I'm like, no, I need it down a little bit. Oh my God, Al.
And you know,
I need a little bit.
I'll admit this too, and this is something that, not to say that it happens with every indie game, but I just want to kind of applaud the developers and the writers and everything for this. They had ample opportunity to be very blatant about a lot of the pop culture references and Easter eggs. Like, they could have littered this game with it, but they didn't. And I appreciate that. Like, everything was very, very subtle. It wasn't like...
I'm sure I missed a ton.
Yeah, it wasn't in your face. You know, and a lot of them, they feel like they have to do that. It's like, hey, you remember that thing? Ha ha! Look what we're referencing. It's like, yeah, I got it. Ha ha! That's a great joke.
You had to keep explaining the joke.
Yeah, but everything here, like we've already mentioned with the musicians, I'm sure there are other musical references that went right over my head.
Right.
And it's because I wasn't looking for them, and they didn't shove it in my face, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, all in all, I feel like sounds like we both really dug it.
No, it
sounds like we both really dug it. I don't really have any complaints about it. It with just letting people know though, like it is an experience. Like it's not meant to be like this huge challenge or anything when you sit down. So, you know, yeah, just like chill and sit back. And if you're a fan of that style of music or just music and really amazing backdrops, because the artists here did a phenomenal job as well, sucking you into it.
Yeah, the fact that I got sucked into it the way I did, not sure what I was going into, that to me is a testament to how good this game is, because it is a journey, it is an experience, it is a story-driven experience, but you're gonna have a fun ride. I promise you. If you'll know if this game is for you, like
probably within the first 30 minutes or so.
Yeah,
that gives you a full run of how it plays.
Yeah, you'll know if you're willing to go down this journey and see how far you go, because once you start shredding, man, that's when you start to be like, okay, all right, I'm digging this. If you're not into it at that point, then you know exactly whether or not you're into it.
And I feel that's fair.
Yeah. So wait.
It's not going to be for everyone.
Wait for that, and then there you go.
And then keep on going. Yeah. So I we've already mentioned, I think we love it. I'm glad I did get a playthrough in. As far as replayability, I mean, I think that would just be on you. If you want to experience all the bright colors, maybe choose a different name or something. I can't imagine it would really change the scope of the story that much. But I feel like you've seen the story if you've played it once, personally. And it took me about 6-ish or so hours. I know some people like to know about how long a game would be. I was probably 6 to 7-ish hours. I do pause and walk away a lot, so my game time never is correct. But I feel like that was about all it took me.
Mine, just for clarification, was about 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
So
I did definitely stop and look around a lot and jam with my background creatures sometimes, because I thought some of them were just cute.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really want to play with that one now. So all in all, considering, I like it. You can play it on Game Pass, $20 on Steam. If you want to play it on the Xboxes, I think they're on there too. I couldn't find anything for PlayStation, but I feel like it was like Xboxes, PC.
When I got that email, he had mentioned PC and Xbox. So that's why I went with Steam. And hey, look at that. Here's another testament to that as well. I spent time on my laptop playing a game.
I know!
You know?
And it runs well. It's not that he's got a garbage laptop.
No, it's just I don't...
more of a fan of consoles.
Yeah, my TV is bigger, and that's where I'm comfortable playing games.
And he refuses to take my advice on how to rectify that situation. So, it's just how it's going to be, I guess.
But I played this. I played every bit of it right here on my laptop. Yeah. I did take the laptop out there for a while, to my couch, to my seat, and then finished it up in bed later. And I was just like, yeah.
Nice. Well, at least you could take it around, I guess.
Yeah, see? There
you go. It was more mobile for you. All right. Well, so yeah, there you go. I say go check it out. If you got Game Pass, there's really no reason not to. And then $20.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's recommended.
It's not that bad. I stand Game Pass. You should too. And I don't know. I just felt like it might be nice to end it, as Lightman in the Artful Escape had said, just to kind of sum up the game. An artist's job isn't giving people what they want. It's giving them what they never could have even imagined. And that sounds like a nice sum up of the game to me. Go check it out. beautiful. I'm so mad at myself. I thought I wrote down the dev team's name.
Beethoven and Dinosaur.
Longer. Thank you. I'm like, where did I put it? I must have put it on my first copy. You know, where you just make a bunch of splattery notes as you're playing a game, and then when you transfer it to collect it into a cohesive thought. I must have forgotten to copy it over. But it was the first time I'd heard of them.
Yeah, it was their first game.
Personally.
And they've actually stated that, so check them out. I hope that we have an opportunity to talk to them in the future. Like I said,
it would be very cool.
I really hope they've heard this, and I'm not saying like this will be the thing to drag them in or anything like that. But
no, we're totally bullying you right now.
but just know that I really want to talk to somebody about this and the development, because it brought me joy.
It's a different beast. It really, I just smiled.
Yeah, in a way that I didn't know it was going to do. It was a complete and utter surprise for me, and I'm so glad this game showed up on your radar. I'm so glad that I reached out to them to just ask for an interview, and I'm so glad I didn't turn down a code, because I was gonna do it, and I was like, nah, okay, because I didn't want to be rude, but I also didn't want to take money out of their pocket either. I want this game to do well.
I do too. I think it should. I hope so. Yeah. I hope so. Check it out. I don't really know what more to say about it. No. It was a gorgeous, lovely time.
Heaps of praise.
I want you all to go check it out.
Please.
But outside of that, I guess that's our show, man. Mm-hmm. That's it. You can hit us up sometime on Twitter at SuperMegaCrash, or send an email to supermegacrash@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can follow us over at Instagram to view the weekly icon art Steven puts time and love into. You can support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred platform, even going to patreon.com/pencil and paper productions, or even the website
pencilpaperproductions.com/supermegacrash.
There you go. See, look at us being pros too. Or you can tell your friends to find the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, or just search Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcasts. So thank you so much for listening. I am Lacia Finley.
And I am Stephen White.
And don't forget, till you join us next time, siblings, you should
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.